happy celebration. You look good to me, amen. You look mighty good to me. Woo! Gordon Baranco is back. He had a hip surgery. He's back with us this morning with his son and daughter. Good. And it's good to see the rest of you. I see a young jazz man down here. Jazz. Come on, Jazz. Let's see him. Here he is. Back off the road. All right, Jazz. Good to see you. All of you this morning. It is so good to see you. You're a great-looking group. I'm telling you. Anybody would want to pastor this congregation just looking at you, okay? Let's hold hands this morning. Cecil and Janice are away, doing whatever Cecil and Janice want to do, amen. Karen is in the house this morning. And I'm along with her, okay? And John Musser is going to lead us in prayer. So let's hold hands. We're in community. You may pray with your eyes open or your eyes closed as John leads us in the morning prayer.
Good morning, Glide family. Let's pray together. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to be alive and one more day. Thank you for waking us up this morning. And Lord, we ask that you also wake us up spiritually to who you are in your presence right now. We've come together as a community to be here in this place this morning. Now wake us up, Lord. Wake us up to who we are. Allow me just for a second to pray for each of you. Lord, I pray for each person here this morning. I pray that you will give us courage. I pray that you will give us hope. I pray that you will wake us up to who we are, our true spirit, our goodness that lives inside of us, the intentions that we have to help others and to be all that we can be. Lord, free us from our shame, free us from our guilt, free us from the things that hold us back, that keep us down. Lord, we pray for those who are hurting today. We ask for you to give them hope. We ask that you would inspire us, Lord. Give us what we need today in this hour. And all these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Right on.
Right on.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Salam.
Salam.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Good morning, everybody. It is now time for our community song, and we are asking that everyone remain standing. This is Glide. So we're asking for those who can stand. We're going to sing our anti-war song this morning. This is the way Glide addresses it. The words on the wall, we invite you all to sing them with us. Where have all the flowers gone? Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Yes, where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone to young men, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? the soldiers gone, long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Down to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Yes, where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Covered in flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Yes. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Thank you. Thank you. Now, brothers and sisters, turn around and embrace each other. Greet each other this morning. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Glide family members, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Change Band under direction of John Turk and the Glide Ensemble under direction of John Turk. Everybody, it's on from here on.
Good morning. My life was confused and
We're stepping this morning. Go ahead, John.
Come on, baby.
Jesus, you're the center of my joy. All that's good and perfect comes from you. You're the heart of my contentment, hope for all I do. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. When I'm lost my direction, you are the compass for my way. You are the fire, the light, when the nights are long and cold. In sadness, you are the laughter that shatters all my fears. When I'm all alone, your hand is there to hold. Jesus. You're why I find in the simple things in life. You are the music in the meadows and the trees, the voices of the children, my family and my home. You're the source, you're the finish of my highest dreams. Jesus, you're the center of my joy. You are the center of my joy. Perfect comes from you. All that's good and perfect comes from you.
Vincent Mason. Vincent. I've never heard a pediatrician sing like that. Huh? Dr. Mason. Thank you.
Morning Glad family! Praise His holy name. If you got food on the table, now you know that the Lord is able. Come on and testify, tell it in the valley below. Why don't you testify everywhere you go? Don't you be ashamed of no. To be a witness for the Lord. If you got shoes on your feet, woo! Well, if you got a voice to speak, come on and tell it now. Tell it in the valley below. Why don't you tell it everywhere you go? Be a witness for the You should be a witness for the Lord. Be a witness for the Lord. You know He's been good to me. You know He died on Calvary. Everybody stand up. Come on and stand up. Come on and stand up. You gotta stand up. Stand up, stand up. Everybody sing. Come on and stand up. You gotta stand up. Why don't you stand up? If you got food on the table, now if you know that the Lord is able, come on and tell it. Why don't you tell it? Come on and tell it. Be a witness for the
Sandra. Before we do the next one, someone needs to move their Land Rover license 4SUD 762. Please move your Land Rover, or the Rover will be moved for you. You are such an exciting, energetic group this morning. We need another song. Another song. Come on. Elish, my, thank you. We're hot this morning, we're hot. Thank you. So good, we have special, everybody is special here, but we have a young lady who's here, one of Joyce Hayes' goddaughters, now Dr. Nancy Yang. Here she is with her family, She comes through our program here, right here. Thank you. Look at here, marvelous. Thank you. George's mother is here this morning. Yes. Isn't it marvelous to bring guests and your family members to church and enjoy it when you bring them? My. Have you ever gone to church and had this much fun? Tell me, huh? Woo. That's why folk are always saying, Pastor Fitch, is there another church in New York like this, in Washington, D.C.? I say, no. So you have to commute back every weekend, okay? Thank you. Vincent Mason is coming to do our announcements. And as he comes, I invite you to become a part of the Glide family. Go to the door on my right after the celebration. First door on your left, the Maya Angelou room, go in there. There are sisters and brothers waiting to share with you what it means to be a member. Don't let race get in the way, your culture get in the way, your sexual orientation, your religious tradition. None of that matters here. Everything says, if God accepts you, we accept you. Amen? If God made you, we want you. So come and be a part of us. Come and be a part of us.
Good morning, Glad family. And good morning, ensemble. I stand before you today to take up the offering. And I know that sometimes you get to this part of the service and you're like, what are they doing? What's going on up on the stage? So I try to be as clear and as direct as possible. Your generous contributions that you give to Glide helps to keep this a very diverse, uplifting, empowering, and all-encompassing organization. As the ushers get ready in the back, I want to tell you a story about me as a little boy growing up in Phoenix City, Alabama. In 58 to be exact, when I was born, and just to give you some idea of what that life was like for me then, it was actually a pretty good life. The only thing that I couldn't quite understand was the church that I went to when they would ask for the offering. As a little boy, I was a bit perplexed because I couldn't figure out exactly where the money was going when we lifted the offering. And we actually had two offerings. We had the benevolence offering, that I think benevolence translated to Stacey Adams shoes, suit, hat for the pastor. And then we had the general offering, which definitely went to the pastor in terms of the Cadillac and the house and all that kind of stuff. So, to know that the money that I give to Glide and the money that you give to Glide actually works for something that is not theoretical, but that is lived day by day with 80-plus programs, with a food line, with outreach that uplifts and empowers people day by day. I think it's a miracle to me that happens, and it's helped me to recover through my whole aspect of giving to a church. So now I feel great about giving because I know that what I give works. And as the ushers start to come forward, getting back to me as a little boy, my parents actually raised me, theoretically they raised me to be a loving, caring person. And being raised in the South, sometimes you think, well, how is that possible that you can be there and be loving and caring when, you know, you've got Baptist church and then you've got Southern Baptist. Baptist church black, Southern Baptist white. All Baptist, but never did we ever fellowship with one another. Ever. It was a sin to fellowship together as black Baptists and as white Baptists, as far as I could tell in the South. When I was about in the 6th grade, that was when they were starting to integrate, and I was pulled from a group of black kids from my elementary school that was only 2 blocks away to go to a elementary school that was about 1.5 miles or 2 miles away from my home so that I would be integrated. And I didn't quite understand that because I thought the elementary school that I was in was just a pretty good school. All my friends were there, that kind of stuff. But I went and I walked, and every day I would go, and every day my mom would, I'm sure she just prayed, like, let him return home safely, that whole thing. I was oblivious to that until one day I was coming home and riding my bike home from school one day, and about 3 little white kids ran off the porch out towards the street as I was riding by on my bicycle, and they kept yelling and screaming a word, and the closer they got to me as I was passing by, I could hear the word, but I'd never heard that word before. And they kept screaming and yelling, nigger, 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 and I was like, no, I don't know what that word is, but I'm just going to keep going because my name is Vincent. And, you know, so when I got home, I said to my mom, I said, you know, Mom, you know, these little white kids were calling me nigger, nigger, nigger. What is that? And you could just sort of see her whole body just sort of like sink and cave in because she realized that she couldn't protect her boy child anymore and that I was in the process of becoming a man child. What I like about Glide is that there is incredible diversity here, okay? Diversity is not when you hear yourself saying, some of my friends are, and you can fill in the blank for whatever you want, okay? Diversity is not when you say, well, we've got 17% black people at our convention this year, and we've got 50-something women, and so now we are a diverse group. Because it's not about statistics, it's about how you live your life in terms of what you do. Glide does that for all of us. When I first came to Glide, I came from this very traditional black Baptist fundamentalist church down in San Diego. Great church, still like it, but I'm here. And I thought, well, you know, when the whole thing when people say, hi, my name is Vincent, and the audience would answer back, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with all that. It's like recovery stuff, but I don't have any issues. Right. So I thought that recovery was all about drugs and that kind of stuff, but it turns out that it's a lot more, and Glide allows us to heal ourselves and love ourselves. And what I say to you today is that you accept and you love yourselves completely because somebody also loves you. Thank you. All right, announcement time. The Let's Get Real group meets today at 1 p.m. in room 201. Join your Glide sisters and brothers to share what's going on in your lives. Everyone is welcome because we're all in need of some form of recovery. The Hope Line, Glide's lay ministry, offers a lifeline of person-to-person care to the Glide family in times of crisis and celebration. If you're someone you love is struggling with a challenging diagnosis and would like some support, please call the number on the flyer in the pews or put your confidential request in one of the boxes located in the front or the rear of the church. Pick up the brand new August-September copy of the Door of Hope, our newsletter, at the front or the rear of the sanctuary. Prayer group meets on Wednesday evenings from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., and Bible study meets on Thursday evenings from 6 to 7:30 p.m. There are audio and video tapes by Pastor Fitch Karen Yonkers, Janice Miracatani, I got it right this time, I think, Karen, and Reverend Williams are available of today's celebration. Also CDs, tapes, and videos of the Glide Ensemble, including the new concert CD on sale downstairs. There are Glide t-shirts, sweatshirts, caps and sports bottles, note cards, and books by Reverend Williams, Janice Miracatani are all available in Freedom Hall. Take it away. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
We're so glad he made it from Phoenix City, Alabama. We don't know what to do. Is that right? Thank you. I know there are a number of visitors here this morning up in the balcony. Welcome to Glide. If you're here from some other church, we say welcome to all of you downstairs here. We are just delighted to have all of you present with us today. The Change Band, John, Sam Cox is there on drums, Glenn, Tim, Joel on trombone, Dave on trumpet, and Charles McNeil on saxophone. Following the next song, we hear from the Glide Ensemble, the Change Band. We shall hear from our assistant, Karen Yunker. She has single-handedly started and developed our pastoral care ministry. She does so many other things around here. We don't want to list them right now, so we can give her a chance to preach. Right. Amen. Following the next song.
Good morning, Glide. Good morning, y'all. Can't make it through. Tell me, what do you say when friends turn away, you're alone? Tell me, what do you give when you've given your all? Seems like it's never enough. Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand. Watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Tell me, how do you handle the guilt of your past? Tell me, how do you deal with the shame? Tell me, how can you smile when your heart has been broken and filled with pain? Oh, you're filled with pain. Tell me, what do you do when you've done all you can and it seems like you can't make it through? Well, you just stand when there's there's nothing left to do, you just stand. Watch my God see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure and be not entangled in that bondage again. You just stand and be sure, 'cause God has a purpose. Yes, my God has a plan. Tell me when you've done everything you can, and it seems like you might never make it through. Well, you just stand. You just stand. You stand. And don't you dare give up through the storm and through the rain. You step through the hurt and you push through the pain. You hold on. You got to be strong, 'cause God will be there. It won't be long. Don't you bow. Promise me that you will never be. No, no, don't give up. No, we won't give in. You hold on. Oh, hold on. Hold on. After you've done all you can, after you've done all you can, took all your medicine, you paid all of your bills, you took care of your kids, but it still doesn't feel like nothing heals. And you tried to explain, oh, but Father, nothing seems to stop the pain. I know that some of you have fought it off. I know that all of us have prayed it off. And when there's nothing left to do, I'll tell you what you can. There's one thing you can do. You just stand. Oh, stand. You just square your shoulders and put your head up to the sky. And don't you bow. Promise me that you will never be. 'Cause you can't give up. No, you can't give in. Hold on. Come on and hold on. Hold on. Father will hold on. After you've done all you can. Father, I did all I can. Some of your children have nothing left to give. But you tell us where 2 or 3 are gathered and make this joyful noise. We've done all we can. We'll just stand. Oh, thank you, Father. Just stand, just stand, just stand.
a church where the call to worship is a soulful saxophone solo. Good morning, Glide family. Good morning. Thank you for this time together. Thank you, God. God is great. At highest power, I ask you to move in the speaking and the listening of my voice. It might seem strange to us that Jesus' disciples would ask Jesus to teach them to pray. After all, these were religious men. They'd grown up in religious homes. They'd attended synagogue. They knew the prayers of the rabbis. They prayed the Shema since they were children, every single day. The teacher would pause his lesson, and the workman would pause his task to stand before God to say these prayers. The pious Jews prayed the Shema 3 times a day. So if you had asked these men a year earlier, do you know how to pray? They would have replied indignantly, of course I know how to pray. I've been praying since I was a small child. However, when they saw Jesus pray, they realized they knew nothing about the prayer that he was demonstrating. To them, prayer was a form. To Jesus, prayer was a life and a power. And they realized that sonship prayer is quite different from religious prayer. Oh God, teach us to pray. And there are times in our lives when our old ways of praying, our old ways of relating to God fall short of what we want for our lives. And the last 2 months have been that for me. And today I'd like to share with some of my faith journey with you, and specifically I'd like to share with you a prayer that I found empowering in the face of the possibility of losing my brother Christopher to brain cancer. Well, this part of my faith journey began quite a number of years ago when I met a woman named Janet. And she was a very prayerful and on-purpose prayer woman. I saw her joy in recovery, and especially in the part of recovery that invites us to seek and pursue a relationship with God. I was inspired by the obvious liberty and peace she had in her relationship with her highest power. I wanted what she had. I asked her to be my sponsor. I asked her to teach me to pray. She was disciplined and free. She practiced tough love on me, and yet she created a safe and comfortable place for us to experience and discover the love and joy of God. And then her dad got sick, and then very sick. And she prayed, "Thy will be done, please God, save him." And she waited on the Lord to deliver her father. And soon he was dead. And she was furious with God, and the light went out of her. And she got righteous about the powerlessness and unmanageability that life is. She suddenly believed in God only enough to be angry at him. Soon she was out drinking and gone from us, all in a matter of a few days. And I clearly remember saying to myself, I want a spiritual life where no situation or circumstance will break me up from God. You know, and I didn't know what that would look like or how I would get there, but I asked God, God, teach me to pray so that this doesn't happen to us. And the first thing I saw was that I was going to have to stop blaming God for life and all of life's ups and downs. Stop being mad when life doesn't go my way, when life doesn't turn out the way I want. And that meant being really honest with myself and noticing where thy will be done actually meant, please God, do it my way. And my experience with Janet was the first where I saw clearly that prescriptive prayers, prayers that request God to work out a problem or disappear some illness, are not reliable for the outcomes that we desire. Lots of people who are fervently prayed for do not receive physical healings. Prescriptive prayers feed our faith only when we get what we want. And a faith answered only by a desired medical condition or the disappearance of a problem cannot stand in a world full of human bodies, which by the very nature of human bodies have problems, get sick, and die. I am seeking a reliable faith, a faith I can stand on in a world where the ups and downs of life will have their way with me. And my faith in God as an unchanging source of comfort and strength does not have room for a God who alters one tumor towards healing and another towards not healing. A God who saves one baby, but not another one. My God does not teach or punish us by manipulating life in a physical body. We do not get sick as a punishment. Our trials and tribulations are not hard to understand lessons given us by a controlling God. I do believe that life is full of health and illness, death and birth, hirings and firings, and that is life. That is not God's will or plan or test for us. Life in a body is that sometimes medical news is good and sometimes medical news is not good, and that's life. Our bodies are bags of protoplasm, and they eventually will, like every other organism in nature, experience pain, illness, and death. And none of this is God's lesson or test for us. Life is life, and good and healing things happen, and hard and painful things happen. My God teaches me by standing with me in the midst of all that, right in life, as a source of comfort, strength, and compassion, just the way life is and just the way life is not. Whether or not I turn to him, there he will be. When bad things happen to us, we say, why me? When bad things happen to the people that we love and rely on, we say, why them? Well, why do bad things happen to good people? Because bad things happen to all people. And there is no rhyme or reason, except that is life in a body, that is life on earth. Our bodies are tender, and life is rough on us sometimes, but God does not do life to us. Life is the way life is, and that includes the richer and the poorer, the sickness and the health of it all. When we pray for a friend to be cured, to be healed, that simply may not happen. Illness, aging, and death are part of the human condition. But God promises, if we will allow him to be present during such suffering, we will know the light, strength, and peace available by putting our mind on and on purpose receiving this radiance. And even when I know that prescriptive prayers don't always produce the result I want, when I'm in a jam, you can bet I pray them. Yes, I do. God, please do this. Oh God, please don't do that. And when my brother first got sick, I prayed those prayers like an instinct. And it is like an instinct. We have learned these prayers over the ages. God, rain on my field. God, please have my field yield abundance. God, heal my brother's brain tumor. And I asked you to pray with me, as if we could storm the gates of heaven with petition and cause my will, my result, the tumor to disappear. And a few days after his seizure, my brother Christopher called me, and in that conversation he said, God didn't make or give me this brain tumor. God isn't punishing me or teaching me a lesson. This is not a test. This is life. And God is here with me in the struggle and joy of it all. And Christopher reminded me, and I'm here this morning to remind you that God is a companion and a comfort, not an inflictor, not a punisher. And that prayer is about relationship, not answers and instant solutions. Sacred relationships calm the storm between our ears. They bring peace of mind, and they lead us to more freedom and light. Our prayer life can lead us to God, to radiant love no matter what happens, rather than to a response which meets our particular needs. Now, I had experienced peace of mind in your trials and tribulations, and I've known a strength and acceptance beyond myself with you in your crises. I've known God's peace in your hotel rooms, at your brother's bedside, but this is my brother, and my family. This is me. And I would and did find a new way to pray. In my brother's illness, even though some say it was a miraculous caused by prayer outcome, because my God is not a celestial vending machine or a holy pharmacist. Because God is not a holy pharmacist, I do not believe that God changed the outcome of my brother's tumor. I do not believe that he interfered with the diagnosis. Otherwise, what about all those unanswered prayers that other people are praying for their beloveds? I believe doctors can be wrong, and that life includes health and illness. My God is not picking and choosing which prayers he answers and which prayers he doesn't answer. My God is not teaching us some harsh lesson that we can't quite understand from here. My God is not a lightning bolt throwing, rain on my field but not on yours, heal my brother's tumor but not your brother's God. My God longs for us to let him in all of our lives, just the way life is and just the way life isn't. God wants in all of life, in the illnesses and the healings. God's will for us is to experience peace of mind, the peace of mind that is available no matter what life does or does not do. My brother and I found a prayer that works, but not because prayer changes circumstances or outcomes. We found a prayer that works because God's peace of mind, radiant love and energy is always available in any circumstance or outcome if we will seek it. My God altered the outcome of my brother's experience by revealing and being available in a form of prayer that neither my brother nor I had found until this life circumstance. We found that prayer is not a way to change life. Prayer is not a way to change God. Prayer is not about my ability to cause a specific outcome. Prayer is about relationship. Relationship with God and relationship with people. Prayer is a means for marrying an inner sense of peace with the outer demands of the world. Prayer is a psychic, spiritual, universal, energetic exchange between us and God and between us and other people in the Spirit of God. We can send radiant energy to each other, highest power to highest power. Every impulse or desire of the soul for love and light is prayer. Every good thought, every authentic communication with another human being, every well wish, all light sent is prayer. And prayer is a way for us to participate in the great web of being that extends through time and space. Christopher said he could feel people's prayers, and not like the tumor was being affected, but like a comfort and a peace, no matter what the outcome. The result of prayer is the quieting of an agitated mind. And I experienced a similar energetic potential when I connected my thoughts with your loving thoughts for me. And I know that some of you have experienced this energy with the people you know in your life. And in those moments, we experience love and freedom and peace on this journey. In this crisis, my brother and I both found the importance and efficacy of accepting prayer for ourselves. In our culture, we pray out, out, out to others, and that's great, but it's very unbalanced. If we are not actively, purposely getting quiet to receive and absorb the prayers and good thoughts and love sent to us, then there is a limited way that they can benefit us. We must offer our minds up for changing. Let us draw prayer energy in, absorbing God's power and radiance to the marrow of our bones, marinating in prayer energy, soaking it in to the deep, dark recesses of our minds. And Christopher and I began to take time, on purpose time, and time scattered throughout the day to accept the prayers and kindnesses of the loving communities that were praying for us, to accept the love and energy and strength that you and other goodwill thinkers sent us. And the result was that the on-purpose absorbing of radiant prayer energy turned off our requesting, prescribing, beseeching minds. Being still and intentionally receiving and accepting prayers quieted our agitated minds and refocused us on seeking peace, seeking love in life, just the way it is and just the way it isn't. This acceptance of prayer is what I offer you today. This absorption quiets our minds. And this quiet allows a listening that is not possible when we are talking to God, asking for specific outcomes. Praying and absorbing and accepting prayer energy changes people. And the prayers of others can make a difference to us. In the book of Acts, we witness that the power of the church community changed Peter's mind and set him free from bondage. And you might be asking, well, okay, but who's praying for me? Well, consider this. There are people praying for each and every one of us. There is a prayer energy, a radiant light available to all of us at all times. So let's take a look at the Glide's prayer list, right? Lots and lots of people, including myself, pray for the people on that prayer list. And if you are honest and look at that list, you will see yourself there. For courage, for guidance in family matters, for patience, for strength in dealing with an illness. And I invite you to see yourself and accept those prayers for yourself. And when you do see yourself there, absorb those prayers, because there are people praying for you. In addition, at every hour of every day, there are people around the world, people of religion and people of no religion, who are sending energy and love and good thoughts to humanity. All around the world, right now, there are people praying for those of us who are afraid or suffering. If you are afraid or suffering, or when you're afraid or suffering, those prayers are available to you. And if you will accept those prayers and let them make a difference to you, I promise they will. All around the world, right now, people are praying for all people of goodwill. And if you still don't think that anyone is praying for you, then, my darlings, just ask someone to. So let's take a moment and be with this, to practice this practice. So given that someone who either doesn't or does know your name is praying for you right now, and by the way, prayer is a timeless energy that is not used up in the using. Any prayer that was ever prayed for you, that energy is available for you right now. So given that someone who doesn't or does know your name is praying for you, let's take a few minutes together to absorb, accept, and receive some prayer energy. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seat or where you're standing. To ground yourself in your body. To relax and be still. And now let's, on purpose, breathe in pure, radiant energy. Picture this energy soaking into your body, into your bones, into your blood. And picture and feel this energy absorbing into your mind, quieting, cooling, balancing. Now we take another breath and intend to accept this radiant energy, good thought, and love that prayer has offered us. Stay open to comfort. Stay open to stillness. Stay open to accepting strength and peace. And now we're going to take a few moments to be silent. And in this silence, I invite you to accept prayer energy and to allow it to make a difference for you. We can absorb prayer energy, the wordless energy of prayer, anytime. We can let it fortify us and bring peace to our minds. And this absorbing, this marinating, this acceptance is a listening for God. And now I'll close with a few words by Kierkegaard on prayer. As my prayer became more attentive and inward, I had less and less to say. I finally became silent. I started to listen, which is even further removed from speaking. I first thought prayer entailed speaking. Then I learned that prayer is hearing, not merely being silent. And that is how it is. To pray does not mean to listen to oneself speaking. Prayer involves becoming silent, and being silent, and waiting until God is heard. Amen.